What's good, everybody? Tonight we have the Locked On Wizards off-season preview. So we're going to look at the NBA draft, free agency, and trade targets for the Washington Wizards. And then at the end, we're going to chop it up like we always do. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code all lowercase LockedOnNBA for our first deposit match up to $100. So this is the Locked On Wizards off-season preview. So we're definitely going to look at all areas of the off-season. What are the needs? What does this front office need to do? What my opinions are on certain draft picks, free agency, and the draft or the trade market for the Washington Wizards. So let's start with the draft, everybody. And again, I appreciate you guys, man. This is Friday night, so we got 8 people. There should be a lot more people in here. So definitely appreciate you guys taking time on your Friday night to rock with your boy, man. So let's get into the NBA draft. Now, as you guys know, on Sunday, the NBA draft lottery will be at 3:00 p.m. So we will be doing a live reaction to the NBA draft lottery here on Locked On Wizards. And me and the real Ed Oliver will be on Bleach Report at 3:00 to react to whatever pick the Wizards get. So looking at the odds, we are now tied with the Detroit Pistons for 40% odds to get the number 1 pick. Now, the best odds for the Wizards are, I hate to tell you, the 6th and the 5th pick. We have the best odds, but we do have a 40% chance as well as the Detroit Pistons for the number 1 overall pick. So let's look at the different some other dates to look at real quick, everybody. The NBA draft is June 26th to the 27th. So now the first and the second rounds of the NBA draft both have separate days, kind of like the NFL draft where the first round's day 1. I believe it's rounds 2 and 3 are the second day, and then rounds 4 through 7 on the third day for the NFL draft. So the NBA draft, they changed it up a little bit. The second round will be on the 27th, and the first round will be on the 26th. So those are definitely a couple of really important dates for you guys. Go ahead and put in your calendar and definitely get ready because, again, this Sunday, May 12th at 3:00 p.m. is the NBA draft lottery, and June 26th to the 27th will be the official NBA draft. So we're going to look at what are my top targets for the top 6 picks. Considering where the Wizards pick, we're definitely going to be into the top 6 picks. So keep that in mind. So here's some names that really pop out to me for the top 6 picks. Regardless where we pick within the top 6, these guys I think would definitely be a good additions to the Washington Wizards. And like I said, I've covered Alex Sarr and Zachary Rissanchet already. I'm going to get into everybody on the list. I'm going to hit every NBA prospect in this draft and definitely see if and so they can definitely fit in with the Wizards long term and not. But some names to really look at in the top 6 for the Washington Wizards. Alex Sarr out of France, obviously. Zachary Rissanchet out of France. Another guy, Stephon Castle out of UConn. Cody Williams out of Colorado. Rob Dillingham out of University of Kentucky. Nikola Topic. Matas Bazilis. Reed Shepard out of University of Kentucky. And Ron Holland out of the G League Ignite. So all 9 of these players, in my opinion, would be good picks within the top 6 for the Washington Wizards. I mean, obviously Alex Sarr, who can play the center and the 4. Zachary Rissanchet, 3-and-D guy on the wing, kind of a Michael Porter Jr. 2.0. Stephon Castle is very intriguing considering he can kind of undersized wing. Not really undersized, but he can play wing, but he can also play two guard and point guard if need be. Cody Williams out of Colorado. So all 9 of these guys, in my opinion, would be great targets for the Washington Wizards within the top 9 picks. So like I said, everybody on this list, I'm definitely going to hit up this upcoming week. And so definitely tune in for that. Now, obviously, guys, we have the 26th overall pick. But before we get into targets for the 26th overall pick, we do have the option. And there's been reports that this front office may look to trade back into the lottery. So there's a couple of names to look at for a couple of guys that if we trade back into the lottery, I would definitely target. And they're both centers, in which I think that we're going to talk about the center position in a little bit. Yes, we do have Marvin Bagley third, but he's an expiring deal. Yes, we may have Rashawn Holmes. He has a player option. And we have Tristan Vucevic. But center has to be a priority in this draft, including the power forward and point guard to a certain degree, depending on what they decide with Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole. So a couple of names to look at if we want to trade back into the draft. Definitely Donovan Clingan from University of Connecticut and Zach Edey out of Purdue. Both of these guys are rim protectors who, while their offensive game they is a work in progress. They're more paint scores. They don't really stretch the floor too much. But here's the thing, not every center on the roster has to be the mold of a modern days big, right? Having a rim protector, I think, is definitely key. If you look at Rudy Gobert, he's not the mold of a modern day center yet. He just won another Defensive Player of the Year award. So, I think you can definitely progress with having a rim protecting defensive first center on your roster. So if they trade back into the lottery, I would definitely look to pick up Donovan Clingan and Zach Edey. Both of them are prime targets if we trade back in, because I think they will be gone by the time we get to this 26th pick, because both of them great performances in the NCAA tournament, and their draft stock definitely went up. All right, let's take a look at the 26th pick real quick and what names really pop out to me who could potentially be available at the 26th pick that we acquired, obviously, from the Dallas Mavericks via the Los Angeles Clippers. So number one, Kel'el Ware, center out of Indiana. I think that he's a really good target if we swing and miss on Donovan Clingan or Zach Edey, even if we miss out on Alex Sarr, because again, Sarr can play power forward and a center. So we miss out on them. Kel'el Ware is a target in the later stage of the first round that I think can come in and play quality basketball. He needs to be developed, but that's the MO everybody on his list, man. This is a highly developmental draft. Number two, Keyshawn George out of Miami. Man, Keontae George's brother, man, he is a baller, man, just like his brother. I think that, he definitely needs to be developed, but he has high upside, man, especially if we can grab him with the 26th pick, which a lot of mock drafts have him available there. Jacoby Walter. Now, his name has been floated anywhere from the late first round to the middle first round, even in the top 10. And if you look at a backcourt where potentially Jordan Poole could be your starting point guard, which we know Jordan Poole, what he can do offensively, defensively, he definitely has a lot of room to improve. But normally, if you have a point guard who's not really good defensively, but he's a scoring first point guard, your two guard has to be a defensive-minded guard. So, look, Jacoby Walter is a guy for the Baylor Bears where he can defend and can put the ball on the floor, he can shoot. So he should definitely be a target if he falls, because I don't know if he for sure will be available at the 26th pick, but if he falls, that is definitely a fall candidate in my opinion. Number four, Devin Carter out of Providence. He's a guard, man, a scrappy guard who can score, man. So I definitely think he should be available around the 26th pick if we indeed need a guard on the second unit. Depending on what we do with Johnny Davis, depending on who we target in the free agency, we're going to talk about next, but I don't see us being very active in free agency. And even if we do, it's going to be a guard, in my opinion. So he is definitely an option. And number five, Tidjane Salon out of Cholet, France. He is another very intriguing player where, yes, he is a developmental piece, but he has very, very high upside, man. And this must be a very, very French draft because a lot of high impact players coming out of France. Alex Sarr, Zachary Richard, the list goes on. So those are my target players for this 26th pick. And like I said, looking at back into the category before we traded back into the lottery, they very well could have a player such as Kyle Kuzma, who is on a team-friendly deal. They could package him with the 26th pick and definitely try to move back into the lottery. And I think if you grab a couple of lottery picks and utilize that second-round pick that we have, because with the performance of Tristan Vucevic, I have a lot more confidence in this front office, or I have a lot more confidence as far as the second round with this front office, because the front office definitely hit on Tristan Vucevic, and we finally have adults in the room in the front office, man. So I definitely have all the confidence in the world in not only Will Dawkins, but Michael Winger and Travis Schlenk, man. So we definitely have, if we do have a big three, it is in the front office, y'all. So those are my targets for the draft. Like I said, on Sunday, we are going to know for sure what our draft pick is. But I'll say this, even if it's number 6 to 1, I know a lot of people want the number one draft pick. I think that number one draft pick is more of a priority next year with Cooper Flagg and definitely with other players. But Cooper Flagg is definitely a name highlight next year. So I'm more concerned with the number one overall pick next year. I think 1 through 6, you can definitely get a high impact player regardless on the draft position. And I think that you could be looking at anywhere from 5 to 6, in my opinion. Now, I would definitely be very happy if we get the number one overall pick or even 1 through 4. But, looking at the percentages, we'll see. But I think we're definitely in a position where we can get a high impact player. Now, when I say high impact, he's not going to be a player who's going to be able to contribute right away. He's going to be a guy who, if developed right, if scouted right, he can definitely be a high impact player 2 years, 3 years from now if he's developed right. If you look at, going to be head coach Brian Keefe, I think that he's the shoe in right now. And then David Vanderpool, you have all the pieces in place for scouting and development where we're going to be able to really hit in this draft because we have to hit this draft. I know the next 2 years is strong drafts, but it starts now. We're laying the foundation right now with culture and with the personnel. And this is the time when you want to strike as far as really, really getting this young talent into DC and that's just my opinion. So those are my targets, everybody. Like I said, this week coming up, I'm going to be heavy into draft prospects. So definitely, like I said, I've already covered Alex Sarr and Zachary Richardson. This week we're going to cover Stephon Castle, Cody Williams, definitely Rob Dillingham, Nikola Topic, another guy at the point guard position. So those are my options at the draft. Very exciting time. Sunday, definitely. Again, on Sunday, definitely tune in. I'm going to let you guys know through Twitter and YouTube what time we're going to do the video, but we will be doing a live recap to the NBA draft lottery. And me and the real Ed Oliver, man, will be on Bleacher Report on Sunday at 3:00 to respond to the NBA draft lottery. So if you want to support Locked On Wizards, definitely support us by supporting Bleacher Report because we will be on there. So again, definitely appreciate you guys like we always do. So we're going to get into free agency and trade targets, and then we're going to chop it up like we always do to start off the weekend right. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So you guys are wondering, what is PrizePicks? Easy. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It's the easiest, most exciting way to get in on the action while you catch your favorite sports and players. You can pick more than or less than on 2 or more players and their stats and their projections and watch the winnings roll in. So you can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. And sometimes if you get 3 out of 5, you can definitely get money back. Not the full amount, but enough to keep you rolling. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries today on PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. So look, all you guys got to do is what? Download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. And again, all you guys have to do is download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by eBay Motors. So passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered, y'all. With over 122 million parts for your #1 ride or die, you can always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guarantee Free, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. And with all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Are you watching Fox Sports, ESPN on your TV all day long? Have to turn on the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch today, y'all, to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. So let's get into it, y'all. Now, we're going to talk about free agency real quick, and I will be totally honest, I don't see us being very active in free agency. Now, looking at our free agents this upcoming season, obviously, Tyus Jones is a unrestricted free agent, so he will be available. Do I see us retaining Tyus Jones? Right now is very murky. A head coaching search, even though I think, 85% of the fan base knows that Brian Keefe is going to be the next head coach. Their interviews start next week, and they're going to do their due diligence as far as interviewing candidates. But you've seen a lot of names already off the board. Mike Budenholzer is now the new head coach in Phoenix. You saw a couple of assistants get jobs in Brooklyn. So, in Charlotte, rather. So, a lot of names come off the board, but there's a lot of good interviews. And like I said, we're going to dive into it next week, doing a lot of draft stuff. But any news concerning the head coaching search, I'm definitely going to be your #1 source, your first source to bring you guys the news. So definitely rock with your guy. So free agency, like I said, our free agents, Tyus Jones, does he come back? Now, like I said, a lot of dominoes need to fall. A blueprint needs to be put out, because right now, obviously, the front office knows what the blueprint is, but we don't know as yet if Tyus Jones is a candidate to come back. Now, look, what is the key for the Wizards going forward? Pushing the pace offensively, right? We were the best team in the NBA in the second half of the season last year, or this year rather. The season's still going on, and that's how we in off season right now, even though the season's still going on. But we were number one in the pace. So his Tyus Jones push the pace, yes, but can he push it as much as I'd like to see Jordan Poole push it? I don't think so. I think Jordan Poole right now should be in consideration to be the next point guard. Now, Tyus Jones has expressed that, look, he does like being here. His family is very comfortable here in DC. His skill set, could he make other guys around him better? Yes. If you look at his assist to turnover ratio this season, elite numbers, him being a floor general, his first step being being a distributor, being that floor general, getting everybody involved. Could he be good in the rebuild? Yes, but it would depend on what his role is and what he wants to get paid, because he does want starting money. And if you bring Tyus Jones back, what happens to Jordan Poole? Are you reverting him to a 6-man role, which you could, and definitely with Jordan Poole's performance as a 6-man in the second half of the season, and with his performance taking over for Tyus Jones as starter, his value has gone up. So, it's kind of a mixed bag as far as what Jordan Poole's outlook is, because a lot of people think he's a long-term piece. He's young, he hasn't hit his prime yet. He could be a long-term piece, and I think a lot of people have expressed that he should be. And I'm one of those people. I think that you should definitely consider him a long-term piece because of his age and his skill set. But we'll see. We very well could go in the draft and get a point guard. So right now the vision is unclear, because right now, even though it's an off season for us, season's still going on for the rest of the NBA, or the team still in the playoffs. So, but look, we're getting closer and closer to that time, man. So next month is definitely showtime for the Washington Wizards. But again, I don't see us being very active in free agency. So let's look at a couple more of our free agents this year. Anthony Gill, another guy that I think you need to bring him back. Anthony Gill being that leader not only on the second unit, but on the bench. I think he's been one of our best leaders, if not the best leader. And I think that you definitely need to bring Anthony Gill back, because I think his veteran leadership and just his play by example would be great for this young roster going forward, man. So I definitely think that we need to bring Anthony Gill back. But as far as outside free agents, the 2-guard for the second unit is one place that I would add a free agent, and a name like Lonnie Walker would be the type of move I'll be looking at. I don't see us spending a lot of money in free agents. I really don't. And, if we do, it's going to be retaining our own free agents, but I don't see us really making any major moves. Another player to look at is where you at, man? Where are you at? Landry Shamet. So yes, he is on the roster next season, but it is a non-guaranteed contract next year. So do they retain him? Do they let him go? We shall see about that. Because like I said, it all depends on what they're trying to do as far as a 2-guard on the second unit. Is Johnny Davis going to get more minutes? Is he still going to be here? Does that mean that Landry Shamet comes back? Do we go get an outside free agent? Those are going to be questions best asked getting closer. But if I'm the Wizards front office, maybe you give Johnny Davis another chance. Now, I mean, I'm trying to be positive. I personally, and this is nothing against Johnny Davis, but I think it is what it. I think the sample size is big enough to where I don't think he's a long-term piece here in DC. Now, so maybe you do retain Landry Shamet. Maybe you don't go out and get a Lonnie Walker Jr. or Lonnie Walker down 4th, I believe. My bad, Lonnie. But I think the writing's on the wall for Johnny Davis, man. I mean, I think that if he does stay in the organization, he's probably gonna be back at the Capital City Go-Go, man. I mean, because I've seen enough. I mean, and like I said, it's nothing against the young man. Keep working your tail off. I wish nothing but success for you. But me personally, you being the 10th overall pick, and we really don't know what your, long-term part of this organization is. I've seen enough. So I think that, you either retain Landry Shamet, or you go ahead, or you not retain, because he's still in the contract, but it's not guaranteed. So I guess you can retain him. But I think Landry Shamet might be the option there, or Lonnie Walker, in my opinion. So looking at the trade market, and there's 2 names really pop out. And like I said, looking at Jordan Poole, and there's more than 2 names, but the highlight names as far as value, in my opinion, is Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. Now, do you need to move either one? No, I don't believe you do. But if the deal's too good to pass up, you make that move, because right now we are in the OKC model, right? Which is accumulating all the picks we can and getting all young talent we can. So yeah, looking at Jordan Poole, he's still young, man. And I personally think he should be part of the future. Now, it all depends on his performance, where his head's at. But he showed in the second half of the season that when locked in, he could be a really good player in this league, if not an all-star level talent. So 24 years old. I mean, the season coming up, he is owed the 2024 to 2025 season, $29 million. So is that a contract that's going to make or break your team? No. But Kyle Kuzma, again, he's going to be earning $23 million. So a team-friendly deal. Now, this is the developmental draft. We're not going to find anybody who's going to replace him. Now, if there was a player that could replace Kyle Kuzma, it would be Denny Avdia. And obviously looking at that, you would have a lineup of Corey Kispert, Bilal, and Denny, and that means we're officially starting a youth movement. But, Kyle Kuzma, I get it. I like Kuz. Some people do, some people don't. It is all about, what flavor you like, man. I think Kuz has been good for this team now. Looking at his skill set and his play style, he's a score first guy, and he does it well, man. But it at times can be the detriment of efficiency. So, if he's, you don't really need to move him. Very team friendly deal. Really good for this team as far as leadership, as far as setting example, having that championship pedigree. But I say it all the time. If the deal is good, you make that move, man. You definitely make the move, because there's going to be teams out there who are going to want his services as being a scorer, being that fourth or fifth option on the competing team. So he definitely has value. Other people to look at real quick. I mean, Marvin Bagley III will be on an expiring deal this upcoming season. So he's definitely, he's shown that he can play in the right system. So he has value also. Rashawn Holmes is on a player option. There's some people that said, well, why would he take a player option? Oh, because he's 30 years old and he has a diminishing skill set, and he's not guaranteed to make $12.8 million in free agency. So if I'm Rashawn Holmes, and I think that he came in and played quality basketball for the Wizards, but $12.8 million is a guarantee he's going to get that in the free agent market. So he could come back in a player option unless the writing's on the wall, because you have Tristan Vukcevic coming up, and depending on what we do in the draft, he could look at the writing wall and say, look, so that's another, domino needs to fall for us to really get an accurate picture on what's going on. So those are my options for the most tradable assets that we have, in my opinion. Now, you can say Denny, but I think Denny's definitely a long-term piece, even though his contract is very friendly, man. But Denny's a guy that I like to see stick around, man. So those are my options. Do we necessarily need to make moves? Yes, if we find the right move to get assets and young players back. But don't feel compelled to have to make a move, man. I think that this is a year where you definitely can let whoever we can pick in the draft sit for a year, develop, sit on the second unit. And the year after that, that is a year where you could probably get value for Kyle Kuzma or Jordan Poole, if indeed this organization wants to move them. So we're going to get into chopping up with you guys like I always do on Friday nights, man. So I definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me tonight. So tonight's episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. All right, game off. We got to pause here real quick to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying. Flagrant foul, Brandon. You already talked about that, Brandon. But there is just so much good stuff in this game, y'all. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you can work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you can unlock. Excuse me. And there's so much more to get, such as unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes. Woo! Cool new playing pieces to travel boards with. What? Hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash your buildings or heist your vaults. Good Lord. And plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robotic pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that can help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. Woo! There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go, y'all. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. Monopoly Go. All right, everybody, let's get into questions and answers like we always do. Like I said, we got 21 people in here, and I get it. It is off season, man. So I love y'all, man. I get it. A lot of people still watching the playoffs, so I get it, man. But the closer we get to the draft and free agency, man, we will definitely get the numbers up, man. So again, I appreciate you guys taking your time on a Friday night to chop it with your boy, man. So definitely got a lot of love for y'all, man. So let's get into it. Playing opposite says, "Be Scott. How do you feel about Jerry Stackhouse being a potential head coach candidate? He didn't hack it in Vanderbilt, man, and I think he's best served as an assistant. I don't know how much you really get into the connection to the organization. He was only here for a cup of coffee, and I think that the whole MJ area really jacked that up because he was gone the next year. We sent him to Dallas for, I believe, Antoine Jameson. So I like Stack, man. He was a good scorer here in DC, but as far as a head coach, he didn't, he kind of pushed out in Vanderbilt, and I don't know if we really stretched that far for a guy who really didn't prove too much on the college ranks. But I do like Jerry Stackhouse, and I think that he could be a really good NBA assistant. He also said, I've been praying for that first pick so we can get Alex R. Yeah, me too. I think we have a really good chance to get number one pick, man. But I think regardless, 1 through 6, we're going to find a guy who's going to be able to be a really good piece of the future, man. And if we package that 26 with a player, get back in the lottery, man, then we're really cooking with a couple of good prospects. And the second round pick, man, is not, like I said, this week, man, I'm definitely going to push a couple of videos about second round picks, man, because I think we definitely need to hit on all 3 in this draft, man, to really solidify that foundation for the future. Lee Leor says, as long as you're not going with this horrible idea of Darvin Ham and Russell Westbrook, everything's going to be okay. I agree with you, man. And I get it, guys. Not every video is going to be popular because, I got to do my due diligence. And because I push a candidate or a name forward is not saying that I particularly support that, but I have to look at every angle, look at every avenue, man, and definitely look at every candidate and go from there. Darvin Ham, I don't think he's going to be the head coach. Russell Westbrook, I think in his stage in his career, he's not going to want to come here. And I don't know how much, he would really, I think he could be good for this rebuild, but at this point, man, I'd rather see a guy like Jordan Poole be the point guard of the future, especially with Jared Butler being the backup, and if we do add that point guard, I'd rather be in the draft, not a free agency, to be totally honest. But I appreciate your comment, bro. Locked on Law said Jerry Stackhouse was a terrible Washington player. Why the hell would we want him as a head coach? I'll say this, man. He wasn't too bad as a player. He was definitely a net scorer. Now, coming over from the Pistons, was he kind of in the later stages to a certain degree? Yeah, but he came and he played good ball, man. He really did. I remember a couple games where he put up, I can't remember the number, but he had a couple good performances, 50-plus point games against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, I believe, once. So he came and he played good, man. Let's see. Self-made man in California. What's good? What do you think about Kyle Filipowski as a second pick in the first round? That's somebody I didn't mention, and I actually apologize for that. I like him. I think that coming out of Duke, he's a good player, man. So, like I said, that is a good idea, and definitely shout out to you because I'm gonna do a video about him being a target in the second half of the first round. But I'm with you. I like him, man. Kevin Quinn said, "What's good, Brandon? What's good, bro? How you doing tonight, man?" Big J, how you doing, my brother? I need Frank Vogel hired all those one with him. They turn on him. Our youngins will appreciate him. Also, Sar, Holland, or Matas in the draft. I like Sar, I like Holland, I like Matas. So I agree with that. Frank Vogel, I don't think it's so much would he be good for the team is would he want to come here? And you got to kind of hold that stance with a lot of candidates for head coaches that unfortunately we're not an attractive organization right now. And the reason for that is a lot of coaches want to go into it in a situation where they can put their stamp on it and win right away. Looking at Mike Budenholzer in Phoenix. Not a lot of coaches want to do a rebuild. Not a lot of high echelon coaches want to do a rebuild. You guys watched The Last Dance, man. Phil Jackson said at the end, I do not want to coach a rebuilding team. So a lot of your headliners that coach don't want to coach a rebuilding team unless it's guaranteed that it's going to come to fruition. Not that it's not going to DC, because I'm a big believer in this front office. I think that this is definitely the time. If we rebuild, scout, and we develop the right way, we could very well build a winning organization, a championship organization here with the Washington Wizards, man. So Frank Vogel, I think, would be a good candidate to a certain degree, even though, but would he want to come here? I think that's the point, and I don't think he will right now. I think he's going to catch on with another team, a playoff hopeful team. So Alex, he says, is it a possibility, my bad, that a lot of sought after coaches just don't want to come to coach a rebuilding team? You hit the nail on the head. I kind of just said that, man. And I appreciate your comment, bro. Great minds think alike, right, Alex? So, that's what I'm thinking, man. Not a lot of coaches want to come here early on in the process, man. They want to put their marks on a team who, they're a coach or a player away from making that next step towards the playoffs or championship contention, man. But hopefully we become a destination. I think we will, man, because right now, like I said, I'm gonna give this front office 3 years before I really critique, but I'm a big believer in them, man, because I think that they have a vision, they have a blueprint, and we haven't always had that in the front office. So I am a really big fan of this front office, man. I think we have a big 3 in the front office. Kevin Quinn again says, I'd rather sign and trade ties for first next year. I agree. He does have that. There's teams out there that are going to want him. So I agree. If you that is definitely a option that you sign and trade ties, because I don't see him coming back. Not to say that he wouldn't be good here, because I think you can still rebuild with a floor general. But I think that Jordan Poole at his age, man, and the biggest thing is, I get it, man. I was excited him coming over. I gave him his fair share of smoke for struggling, but I am a big fan of Jordan Poole. And I think that he could be a good point. Now, being that point guard, there's other things he needs to work on. Definitely going from a score first guy to a guy who's looking to get other people more involved. And if you're going to be a score first guy, utilizing your scoring prowess as a way to make other people better. But I think that Jordan Poole could do the job. But like I said, we don't know. Very well they could go in the draft and get a guy. But I think that if you look at the roster construction and the fact of his age, and they went out and they got him, I think he's a targeted point guard. But I'm with you, man. I definitely agree on that. And you said Lip Pool done the point. See, my brother, I'm trying to tell you, man. Self-made man in California. My bad. When do they have to give the Knicks that pick? I believe we have a couple more years. I will have to research because I don't have the information on me right now, but I will definitely let you know, man. But I believe we have a couple more years of protection till it actually comes off. But I mean, if you look at the fact we're in the rebuild, I don't see them getting the pick unless we make that bounce within the next couple of years to become a better team, which we very well could, depending, scouting and development is key, man. And we have those people in place. So we very well could be better sooner. But saying that, I definitely believe we need to take our time and do it right. Galad Zelser, what's up? How you doing? Yo, what's up, B Scott? How you doing? Shout out for the show. I hope whoever we pick is a D-oriented play. Yes. Defense should be a priority. Defense should definitely be a priority. We need to be a better defensive team overall. We do have good defenders here. Tristan Vucevic is a rim protector. I think that lateral movement on defense he needs to work on, but I think defensively he can't be a rim protector. And obviously, Denny and Bilal, two guys who defensively, man, they look really good. But you cannot add enough defense, man. So I'm with you on that. Definitely appreciate you with the comment. Let's see. I'm trying to get through all the comments. Unlock the Law says, y'all know we're getting the number 6 pick. We're cursed. Yeah, but saying that, man, the number 6 pick ain't bad. I'm gonna say it because there's a lot of talent in the top 10 in this draft, and I get a lot of experts. They're down on because not a lot of these guys, if any, are going to be able to come right away and be a starter. But I'm telling you, man, this is a good draft as far as the development outlook. This is a really sexy draft for development, and number 6 ain't bad. I'm telling you, we could get a high impact guy for the future at number 6. But I definitely want number 1. Alex Sarr is a guy that I really want on this team. But I think that we do not lose in this draft, y'all. Now next year, do you want the number 6, number 7 pick up to 10? You probably don't, man, because obviously, there's going to be definitely a top heavy draft next year, in my opinion. Shig Biz, what's up, homie? I heard your video from last night. Big ups being the MVP, dad, bro. Much respect. Appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate y'all, man. Definitely appreciate the love, man. And I definitely have a lot of love, y'all, man. So appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, listen, show support, man. So appreciate you. And this is going to be our last comment of the night. Joe says, hoping we draft Holland. He feels like a Dawkins guy. I'm with you. He does have a Dawkins move to him, man. And Ron Holland, now, I will say this, man. I haven't always been the biggest believer in the G League Ignite, even though you've had talent coming like the Thompson brothers, man, they came in and they played good minutes out of the G League Ignite. Scoot Henderson is another story. He struggled, but I think the potential's still there. But Hollins, he's a good prospect. He's going to be developed, but I think eventually he could be a really good wing. But the wings right now, there are really good wings if you want to go best player available. But I'm looking at center and I'm looking at power forward, especially for the future. And I think that right now, we definitely need a center in this draft, whether it's Klingon, whether it's Eddie, whether it's Sarr, we need a big body in here who can defend. Because like I said, Marvin Bagley III and Rashawn Holmes aren't long-term pieces. So I think you definitely need to look at center. So that is the last comment of the night. Appreciate you guys, man. As always, man. Like I said, looking forward. The NBA draft lottery is on Sunday. So definitely tune in on Locked On Wizards because we're going to do a reaction and we're going to chop it up and look at some options at the draft pick that we get. And Bleacher Report at 3 o'clock. Me and the Real Ed Oliver will be on there reacting to the Wizards selection. So definitely show your support for this channel. Show your support for Ed, man. Definitely, I know we all love Ed, including myself as my guy, man. But definitely show your support to Ed, man. Doing good things over there on the Commander side, man. So definitely, if you have not subscribed to Ed and his channel, definitely consider that for all your Commanders news, man. So definitely holler at my guy, man. So again, appreciate you guys, man. And again, looking forward, we're going to get into the draft prospects, man. So we're going to look at the top 10. We're going to look at the 26th pick, and we're going to look at the second round within the next couple of weeks. A little bit of free agency and any news with head coaching, I'm definitely going to hit you guys up. So again, appreciate you guys, man. Everybody have a blessed and safe weekend. Definitely, if you're a drinker like myself, man, definitely do not drink and drive, drink at home. Definitely be safe, man. And everybody enjoy your weekend. All right. So Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and that's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the Free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts Locked On, plus the national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the Free Fire TV channels app. So again, appreciate y'all, man. We will see you guys on Sunday. All right, for the NBA draft lottery reaction. So again, have a safe and fun weekend, and I will see you guys Sunday. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys next time.